Good afternoon, everyone. As we prepare for the start of early voting, the early voting period that starts tomorrow and lasts for 5 weeks, ending November the 6th, I thought I would take some time today to give you an update on where things stand in terms of some of our deadlines, what the numbers look like at this stage in the process, and sort of also adding a few reminders and pieces of information I think the voters will find valuable as we begin the early voting period tomorrow. As you know, for the first time ever, every single registered voter in the state of Ohio will receive an absentee ballot request in the mail. Those went out several weeks ago. In response to those requests and the ability for voters to access this voting information or the absentee ballot requests online and through the local board of elections, as of Friday, we had 992,199 absentee ballot requests, which means that many voters will be eligible to receive ballots via the mail when we start the early voting period tomorrow. We have already received 10,823 UOCAVA requests that have been mailed or electronically transmitted, and voting has literally already started because 195 ballots from UOCAVA voters have already been returned. As you look historically, if I were you, I would wonder, okay, where does this compare to 2008? Well, unfortunately, the information on mail ballots only was not kept as a statistic in 2008. So this is a brand new thing in terms of being able to compare apples to apples. We can't actually do that. But we wanted to help you put this in perspective by letting you know that between mail and in-person early voting, 1.7 million voters cast ballots in that manner in 2008. And remember that the goal of early voting is to make sure that we have easy access for all voters, potentially reducing the lines at the polls on election day. And so when you look at the fact that we've had over 922,000 requests already, we're already past the halfway mark when you compare us to the last election cycle, which is a notable piece of information. And it's also worth reminding voters that they have until October the 9th to register. October the 9th is the deadline. We have currently 7.8 million registered voters in the state of Ohio. We expect that number will slightly increase with the window that's still remaining for voters to register. But I also want to reassure voters that the voting rolls in Ohio are in the best shape they've been since the early voting process started. When I took over this office, we only had complete data on 25% of the voters. We now have data on 100% of the voters, and most of that data is complete. So we are in good shape. The integrity of our voting rolls is in the best shape that it's ever been, and that is in part to a lot of hard work from a lot of different folks, both the local boards of elections, the BMV, a lot of partners out there that have helped us make this, put us in this condition or in this state of preparation. But it is also the tools that we've made available through myohiovote.com, which is a one-stop shop for people that want to change their address, updating their voter information. We've had 62,600 folks use myohiovote.com to update their addresses, and as I noted that day, this really will help us by having better information, help improve the prospect that we will have fewer provisional ballots than we otherwise would have had, which, as we know, provisional ballots have been the source to some of the controversy in past Ohio elections. A second round of absentee mailings will go out to voters who have registered since our past cutoff deadline. We have 394,000 new registrants, and that means that those will be printed tomorrow and out by the end of the week. So there'll be another 394,000 absentee ballot requests sent out to new registered voters, and we believe that that will also contribute to more people voting by mail and and thus reducing the potential for long lines at the polls on Election Day. There are a lot of issues in this election that are very high profile. We all know, you've covered extensively the presidential race and the Senate race and all other kinds of political events that are out there. And as we head into this voting period, that will be very important. But it's also worth noting that there are 1,794 local issues on the ballot as well. There are a lot of issues from the top of the ticket all the way to the bottom of the ticket that are being contemplated. And I know that one of the things that I hear about early voting and absentee voting, particularly absentee by mail, is that you may know who you're going to vote for at the top of the ticket, but you may not have known about all of these other issues that are going to be on the ballot for consideration. And remember, when you request that ballot and you get it at home, you'll have that 35 days, over the course of 5 weeks and 750 hours to do your research and make sure that you're contemplating everything that's on the ballot and making the best choice this election season. And I always remind folks, remember to know what the rules are. If you have any questions about what you need to do to prepare to register, to cast your ballot, what you need to bring to the polls, all of that information is available at myohiovote.com. And we will also be providing you a list of the breakout of the total ballot requests county by county. That's new information that we're going to hopefully help you with as you try to do your work with your local responsibilities. So we'll have those numbers. We don't have a lot of stats that I can share with you about what the trends are, since this data was not kept in the 2008 election by vote by mail statistics. But I'm hearing from counties anecdotally across the state who have not mailed out absentee ballot requests that between 10 and 20% of the absentee ballot requests they're receiving are coming from folks who've never voted by mail before. So